It is 6 o'clock. We do have formal going to call workshop order. Donna?
Mayor and council, tonight we have representative from AGL, Kimberly Sims. She's here to give you an update on the expansion of I-35 in relation to the 407 bridge. So Kimberly, I am going to turn it over to you.
All right. Thank you so much. Good evening, everybody. I hope everybody is having a happy new year and a first day back to work for some of you. So we've been plugging away at this project here for about the last year. So we've made a lot of great progress. Just to kind of give you an overview of what's going on and then what we expect to happen coming up pretty soon. At the Sam Rayburn Tollway, I don't know why I'm using this pointer because you can't see it. But at the Sam Rayburn Tollway I-35, we started the first of 4 direct connectors that we're going to be constructing. And so that one is coming from westbound SRT, northbound I-35. If you come over here in this corner, sometimes if you pass by, you'll see the drill shafts and columns coming up in this particular area. Technology works and it works. We've also been widening the Timber Creek bridges. Now these are the bridges that are right before you get to Round Grove Road. Round Grove Road is right over here on this side, but as you can see, we've widened out these bridges here. There's 2 bridges that we've been working on, so quite a bit of work here. We've had a lot of night closures along the interstate because we've been doing some widening, thank you James, some widening of the lanes here. And this is from Fox Avenue to FM 3040. As you can see, crews have been kind of preparing this area here. So a lot of our construction is phased, so you'll see the traffic moving from east to west a little bit. Pretty soon you'll see these concrete medians coming down, concrete barrier medians coming down so that we'll be able to switch the traffic back and forth. Next slide. Fox Avenue, just got a new update on this one today. We're going to start demolishing the pedestrian walkway sometime in February. Folks will still be able to walk across the bridge, but they'll choose the sidewalk on the north side of the bridge. We'll have a phased approach to construction on this bridge as well, similar to what we're doing at Garden Ridge. It won't completely come down. We'll start on the south side first, building it out, shift traffic over, and then begin on the north side for that bridge. FM 407. This is what we had when we started back last year. Next slide. This is what we'll have when we complete the bridge. You can see FM 407 will now go under I-35. It's widened. You'll have 2 lanes in each direction under the bridge, plus dedicated turn lanes in each direction, and then plus you'll have Texas U-turns on either side. So next slide. This kind of shows what you have here. Again, 2 lanes in each direction, 2 dedicated turn lanes, and these are your Texas U-turns here. FM 407 is being constructed into 3 phases. So the first phase was to construct a new southbound frontage road, and we'll have another image that kind of shows how now, if you've driven it, you know, it goes around FM 407 and instead of kind of alongside of it so that we can start building those main lane bridges. We expect to demolish the FM 407 bridge mid-February to early March. Once it comes down, we're going to detour traffic along Valley Ridge and Garden Ridge Boulevard. Then the final phase, and while we're doing this, what will happen is we'll construct those main lane bridges, and you can see it kind of coming up along on the west side of the interstate. Once those main lanes get up to the height of the current bridge, that bridge will come down. So, of course, we're expecting that mid-February to early March. So that will be the southbound bridges. Then we'll start and move over on the northbound side. So probably in about 6 to 8 months of taking this bridge down, we ought to be able to open 2 lanes under 407. So we'll have 1 lane going eastbound and 1 lane going westbound. And we should be complete with the bridge in 2016. Next slide. So this is what FM 407 kind of looks like today. So as you can see, we've got traffic going around it. These are your main lane bridges here. This is the current FM 407. So when this gets up to about the level of this bridge, this is when we'll take it down. So we'll get these main lane bridges completed, about 3 spans worth of that, be able to open 2 lanes in each direction of under, and then they'll start on the northbound main lane bridges. Next slide. So these are some of the detours that we'll have. As I said, we'll take people, this is kind of the frontage road where you can either go up Valley Ridge here to get to East and West 407. Next slide. And again, early 2015, we demolished those bridges. East and westbound traffic go along Valley Ridge, and then we construct this southbound main lane bridge. Next slide. In spring of 2015, 2 lanes, 1 eastbound and 1 westbound of FM 407 will be opened. And then we'll begin constructing the main lane bridge over 35E. The summer of 2016, we'll shift the northbound 35E traffic over to the new bridge, and then we'll open all lanes of FM 407 to traffic.
So that detour down to Valley,
Mm-hmm.
that's only gonna be detouring for
For about
4
6
months, 6
About
months?
6, I would say, on the safe side, let's say 6 to 8 months.
Okay.
We're
I'm willing
hoping
to
to
say
have
8
it
to 12
done
if you
in-
want me to.
No,
Make sure.
but we hope to have it open in 6 months, depending on weather and materials
Okay.
and those things like that. Now, to be able to communicate this, we have a communications program that we call Thanks for the Memories. We'll have people to submit little videos to talk about their memory of FM 407. Of course, we'll use the best ones. We will, I even have my own memory of FM 407, but I don't even think it would make it on the video cut. But anyway, we will also have a kind of an event to get people excited, a food truck event to get people excited about the event where they can come out and learn about the bridge and learn about the progress of that. So we hope to have that kind of in the works by in the next few weeks to get that kicked off. But we'll be working with James and Lori from Highland Village to make sure our communication goes without a hitch. We're starting to get out more and meet and talk more about FM 407 because it is an important east-west connection. It's one that everybody is ready to be done with. They're ready for it to start and to be done with. As you can see, it's going to be a beautiful roadway once we get ready to open it. Lots more room for folks that are there. We've been in touch with a lot of the businesses that are in this area. They either come to our business task force meetings or we go out and meet with them, but we will have information going out to them via flyers, if there are newsletters or things that we need for information, and we'll be doing that as well.
Before you go, some questions I got on this. You're talking about close it mid-February. What type of signage and what dates do you plan on putting up, notifying those 90% of the people that use that don't ever look at your website, they don't know anything about it, they don't care anything about it. But if you put some big readable signs up there.
We do, of course, have the DMS signage. We do have the billboards that the city of Louisville allows us to use. We've also purchased additional billboard space where that information can be displayed.
I'm talking about, basically I'm talking about
30-day
those reader signs like is on 35 right now, it says police will tow.
Okay, orange reader signs?
The large reader signs, if you
Yes.
put one on both sides of 35 saying something simple like bridge demolition closed from February till December.
Right, we call those DMS signs.
Okay, so how long
We'll
will-
have those out. Those will go out at least 30 days prior to the
Okay.
bridge demolition.
Okay,
We are
great.
required to give at least 30 days notice.
Okay, and those are those big readable signs that'll say they're closed.
Yes,
Will be closed come February for 6 months or whatever.
yes.
Okay. And then the other thing I got on the service roads that you were talking about, are you going southbound from Garden Ridge, you go down and you have to go to a stoplight now at 407 and go through, wait for the light and go through. You're going to do away with that? Is that what you were saying? Or you're not going to do away with that?
We will not do away with that because you'll still need to have that traffic control there.
So why wouldn't we want to just shut that off at McGee Lane and not have people back up on that freeway, on that service road? Because there's been numerous times, I use that a lot, numerous times, when traffic gets bad on 35, they don't know that that red light's down there. And it'll back up all the way to the Lake Bridge, just on that service road, because you can't get back on. Once you get off, you're stuck, and you
Let
can't
me
get
take
back
that
on.
back to our traffic engineers and I'll bring you an answer.
You
back.
see what I'm saying?
Yes.
If we could just close it off and have them detour to McGee Lane, go McGee Lane over to
Come all the way down to Valley.
Summit, go over to Summit, up Summit to Valley Ridge, that would keep them all off that, because there's not a street, I don't think, between McGee Lane and 407 on that service road. And that would, I think, would prevent a huge backup, because that red light just doesn't function well at all.
Let me take that back to our traffic engineers and I'll get back with you with an
And
answer.
especially since the red light, what would be the need for the red light? There's not any east or west traffic going there. To me, it seems like it'd just be a steady flow. See what I'm saying?
I'll get an answer for you.
When could we get that answer? When could we get that answer?
I'll have it for you tomorrow.
Oh, boy, that's good. I was gonna figure you'd say 2 or 3 weeks.
And I was gonna say,
That's great.
and we'll be on top of it too, to make sure.
Yeah.
I will email before I leave here tonight and get
Okay.
on it in the morning.
And then you were talking about the food trucks and the celebration stuff. Where are you planning on doing that?
We're still trying to figure out a location for that, but we're thinking about, since the Coppers Branch East Park will probably be almost, or that'll be ready to open. That would be a double celebration. We can celebrate the opening of that park because we'll have the parking lot and the space there. But we're also looking at another location as well, the parking lot of one of the nearby schools.
What about the area there, right there at 407 that Prologis owns, where they use that right now for flying airplanes
Kites.
and kites and, what are those drones?
I'm sorry, what's the name of the place?
To work with Prologis. The
It's
Prologis,
Prologis?
Because it's a flat piece of land, they keep it well mowed. There's people driving out there all the time, walking around, kids running around there. And that, to me, that'd be a great place, because it's right there at 407. I mean, it's right there where you're gonna be
Very
cutting it
visible.
off.
Yeah.
Very visible, and the people that are using that 407 exchange would see it. If you put it down at Copper's Cove, those people aren't gonna ever go down there to see it. If you put it right there at the
But we would plan,
facility.
if we do it down at Coppers Branch, we would build the media and the advertising around it to make sure that people drive it. But that is a good idea.
Yeah, they're not
We
gonna
will check
drive
into
down there till they
Prologis
take.
location.
and Kimberly, obviously our staff will be involved working with you on this event,
Yes.
so we can
We've
follow up
already
on
wrote
that.
James in, so he's on board.
Okay. Thank you.
Next slide. So Garden Ridge Boulevard, we've started work on expanding this bridge. We've started work putting in the drill shaft, so you've noticed a lot of traffic shifts in this particular area. For those of you that may not know, one of the great things about the expansion of the bridge is that we're adding these frontage roads. So instead of, if folks want to get off at Garden Ridge Boulevard, instead of getting off and going around the DCTA, they will now be able to just stay on the frontage road, because the frontage road will meet Garden Ridge Boulevard now, instead of going all the way around. Next slide. We do have some demolitions coming up. This area right here was supposed to start on December the 29th, but we're actually starting on tomorrow. We'll start, and this is at Garden Ridge and I-35. We'll start with taking down the canopy here at the gas station. That work should take a couple of days. Our demo crews are gonna move down south and do some demo there and come back in 2 weeks and start on the underground gas tanks that are here. And that work should probably wrap up in February, March timeframe. Next slide. On the new southbound Louisville Lake Bridge, just to kind of show you, this is where we were in 2013 when we started construction, and this is where we are today. We've started a lot of the beam placement, so there are beams across these bent caps, so it's starting to look like a real bona fide bridge right now. Next slide. We've got drill shaft placement that's going on over here in what we call the little pond here. And then this is a picture of the bridge on this north end of the bridge here. Next slide.
Okay.
Here, I'll show you this side.
A secret play button.
Now, couldn't you have done that,
Here we
Jane?
go. This is a time-lapse video of the bridge construction here. And this goes from, I believe, last March up until probably about October. And you see the fingers coming in here.
You notice how the lake was going down?
When we put these fingers in here, these are rocks that support the equipment there that allow us to construct the bridge a little bit more efficiently.
It's helping to raise the lake back up.
Well, it looks like we're having some more technical difficulties, but you can find this on our website if you'd like to see it.
Very cool.
Parking trail improvements. This is the new trail that we've constructed at Copper Springs East. We've also reconstructed the parking lot, put in a trailhead. The trail that we put in is about 1 mile long. We will do a hard opening for it sometime in the springtime. Hopefully maybe do like a community planting or something, save some of the plants that we need to plant and have a community planting there.
Is that open, did you say?
It's not open just yet. We still have a few touches to put on it, but pretty soon it should be able to be open.
Where's the parking gonna be for that?
The
You
parking
mentioned
is
that a while
still,
ago,
it's still kind of in the same place that it is today, a little bit over here.
at Tower Bay.
By the boathouses, just south of the boathouses when you come into the
Are there
park.
any spots being added?
Know how many? Because there's
How
not
many
many down there
spaces?
now. What, 20 spaces down there?
Fairly small lot.
What, 20 spaces there?
I'll get you an exact number of spaces for that.
Because all the rest of them are marked, they have to be for trailers.
Part of the parking is in where the boathouses are. The new parking lot is closer to the railroad track, and when you come around the corner, as you come into the park, they've graded that and made some new parking area there.
So it's still gonna be the one way in, one way out, two little lane road with no side, there's no shoulder or anything there, I don't think, is there?
Pretty minimal.
And then we've also started work at Arrowhead Park, which is just across the lake, rebuilding the trails there. Next slide. And finally, taking care of the environment. We monitor areas around Lake Louisville on a daily basis. We do bird surveys. That means that we're checking bird nests to see if they're active or inactive, making sure the wildlife there is safe. We do have water quality specialists to make sure the lake and the pond water quality are well maintained. So that's all I have as far as our update for Louisville. Are there any more questions for me?
Yeah, I did, we was talking, I was thinking going northbound on 407 Service Road, is it gonna continue to be like it is when you tear it down? One lane would be to turn right onto Lake Park Road, and one lane would be to continue to go forward and go on to 35?
You will have a dedicated lane that will go on to 35. That's a dedicated turn lane when you go up here.
No, I'm talking about during construction, while the bridge is torn down.
Oh, where
Well, the
Highland
bridge is
Village
torn
Road
down.
is.
No. 407, right now.
Okay.
If you're going northbound on the service road right now, it's a 3-lane road, service road. And then it narrows down into 2 because they've got barricades up there, and one lane is forced to go to the left, which shoots you straight down through to the Garden Ridge exit where it merges with the freeway and Garden Ridge exit. The other lane is forced to turn right onto Lake Park Road. Is that going to continue to be the way it is now, or is it going to be changed?
Let me double check on that one for you.
They'd almost have to, I mean, you
It's gonna
gotta
stay
have
that way,
access.
I know, that's what I'm
Yeah,
thinking.
when it's
You know,
finished, it'll be-
Otherwise, you'd have to turn right.
Now it's gonna be construction.
I agree, I agree.
I'll double check on that. I've
The
got
only
my
other way,
list.
I think you're gonna have to, that was my question, because you've got businesses there, and how would people be able to get out of there if they didn't, of course, even if they go on that, they gotta go across the bridge to come back around.
Yeah,
They're
'cause
gonna have
you
to go
would
to
have
Lake
no-
Dallas and come around.
Yeah.
Either that, or you're gonna have to go over down Lake Park Road to Mill Street. And I'm talking about all the boat dealerships and all those things, and you're talking summertime, when those things get busy.
Garden Ridge is gonna be open.
No, they're past Garden Ridge.
Yeah. Up into the boat.
Yeah,
St.
boat
Jack's
field
and
deal,
stuff like
no,
That's
field deal and stuff.
407.
407, that's it, between Garden Ridge and 407. No. I don't mean Garden Ridge, I'm sorry, I mean Valley Ridge and 407. What I'm saying is, so they're either
But
gonna
then
have to.
The
they
traffic
go-
will go up to Garden Ridge.
and So just stay into Garden Ridge and then loop.
Come back around.
Okay, so they'd have to do that or go over to, turn right and go over
Mill
to
Street.
Lake Park to Mill Street to come back. But I'm not, Greg, I think you'd have to leave that open, that's the reason I was asking.
Otherwise,
Well,
you'd have
we're
no
not-
highway
you know,
access
there will
north
always
of
be
Valley.
access to these businesses over here. We won't cut that off.
Okay.
We can't cut it off. There'll always be access.
On that, well, while we're talking about the south, say it's the southeast corner, has all the right-of-way been purchased already for that, the full implementation of 407?
I believe we have all of the right of way.
So the businesses that are there can continue to operate the way they are right now?
Correct,
Okay.
correct.
What street are you talking about?
There's Big Jack's,
Service
whatever it's
road.
called now.
All those
There's-
boat dealerships. and-
Both- I was just talking right at the hard corner.
Oh, okay.
But I
Really,
think
it's the whole thing. down
that
there.
was all taken when that first time when they shut the project down?
Correct. That's what they were told, that they would not be, when that was first done, made into 3 lanes, they were told that that would go no further east.
Right.
Everything was going from there over to the west. I don't know if they changed it.
Well, I think the 3 lanes, one goes into 35, and then 2 continue north, and then one has to turn right at Lake Park Road to go to 407, and the other one goes straight underneath what's now the bridge.
Right.
So there's only 2 lanes coming up at the intersection of Lake Park and the service
Correct.
road.
Well, there was 3 until they put the barricades up there.
Well, there was 3, but one of them enters onto the highway.
One does, right,
Yeah, so that's the one of the 3.
right. But then the other middle lane is shut off, yeah, with barricades.
The way they have it now, where
Right.
they're moving stuff around, yeah.
Right.
But there was only 2 lanes going up there
To Lake
before they
Park.
started doing the
Right.
construction.
Right.
Thank you.
Any other questions? All right, I've got my list, Mayor. I'll have your answers tomorrow.
Well, you don't have to do it that quick, I just didn't want to wait 3 months.
We'll have your answers tomorrow, Mayor.
Thank you. It's just something, because I know when they have a wreck on 35, that service road backs up, because once they get off,
Nowhere to go.
the only way they can get back on is right there at Garden Ridge, which is probably the most dangerous entrance on there, or they don't get on till Main Street.
Yeah, and they don't know enough to.
Right, and those people don't know, so.
If somebody wanted to have you come out and speak to a group, is there a minimum size you would come out to, or just have to arrange it with you?
We like to have at least 10.
Okay. And they would just need to contact you?
Just contact us. They can go on the website under the Contact Us page, and there's a form that they can just fill out, and it goes to our Speakers Bureau manager, and then she'll get everything set up.
Okay, thank you.
Anybody else, any other questions on it or anything? Because that's gonna, you're gonna get a lot of them when it gets torn down. As much as you advertise all you want, as soon as it's torn down, they're gonna. That's why I take those reader boards that are on both sides, that are just telling people, and put a date up there, you know.
Gotta be right in their face on the day-to-day commuter.
And certainly, we're involved with working with them. It's
Yeah,
just
they won't
not
either.
them, so we'll use every means of communication we have also.
Those reader boards, I think, are the only thing that's gonna really get their attention, to the people that
Get
use
the
it
attention is
daily.
when you miss your exit. They moved it back 2 miles. They've been on this Corinth one same way.
Yeah. Any other
Once you
questions?
know it, it's great.
All right. Thank you, ma'am, we appreciate it. Thank you very much. And you don't have to have it by tomorrow.
And
Wednesday.
I really appreciate the work that's going on. It really looks like something's going on now,
It does.
particularly with the bridges. It's good to see that.
We are pleased that you are pleased.
Yeah,
Keep up the good work.
yes.
Y'all do training sessions on construction work?
Hey, might be a good suggestion.
Get them come over there.
Got a consulting gig for you.
Do you build parks?
Yeah, the dirt pile's bigger.
Some trees.
She'll probably get an update later tonight. It's a hoot. Okay. I thought our backup was, it said 88th birthday. And I said, nah, we're going backwards. So this is our 90th birthday.
Yeah, no, the proclamation actually says 90.
It is 90.
It's just backup, said 88. And I said, well, last year was 89. Item 1 is a public hearing.
It's obviously the city's property that will be the future restaurant site, so we're changing zoning to mixed use for the restaurants.
Do we have a third restaurant?
We do not at this point in time, but they are still working on it, so
Have we had a request to extend?
not at this point, not necessary at this point. We're still within their timeframes.
Yeah, I'll think about that. Okay, item 2, public hearing. Item 3, public hearing.
I just have a question about 3. What governs how intensely that property can be occupied?
Would be certainly our zoning ordinance would control.
Okay.
Zoning ordinance to a large extent, but also the Texas Public Utilities Commission has some say because that site is already in existence.
Right.
So they have a grid requirement to meet. So
Okay.
we have to work with them.
All right.
But our zoning ordinance will control any surface rights.
Thank you.
Item 4.
Interesting new development and interesting use of this property in a predominantly industrial area. This will be their second venture. They do have a operating facility in Fort Worth at this point.
They actually have a partnership with the city
In Fort
because it's
Worth.
in the floodplain. So the city owns, is the master leaseholder.
Okay, did not know that.
And there's a brew pub right next door.
Is there?
Yeah.
Okay. So, opportunities.
The floodplain,
He's talking about the facility in
The
Fort Worth.
one in Fort Worth.
oh, okay.
Yeah, they did some really creative stuff with the facility in Fort Worth, so I would expect them to be nothing but creative thinkers with this.
Well, I for one would like to offer my congratulations for the material that they're using and for the environmental impact that I think that it will influence. I think it's
Crushed granite.
the crushed granite, yes. I think it was a great choice and it'll go a long way as far as what we're trying to do environmentally.
I think we're getting lots of positives on it.
Nice win.
Item 5.
It's right across the street. Change to mixed use. Which could certainly open some interesting opportunities for development. In line with your Old Town Development Plan.
In what, you were gonna I'd asked you about, you were going to get back with me on what are the parking regulations for that now?
For mixed use, it depends on what uses they're gonna have. I think at this point, for this particular property, they're looking is to have some, hopefully office or retail at the bottom and some residential on top. So they would have, in general, we have a reduced requirement in our Old Town area, which is 50% of our normal requirements in the rest of the city.
So what would that be,
So, you know,
number-wise, number of spaces wise?
probably they would, depends on the use itself. So if they're going to have only, for instance, residential, which this zoning would allow, then they would have parking garages for the residential.
Oh, okay.
But if it's going to have some commercial, then we would look at it based on, is it retail, is it restaurant, is it office? So we would have different ratios.
Okay, all right, thank you.
This is right next to the
Right.
new parking lot.
Right by our new parking lot.
I love this room.
Correct.
Everybody points in a different
Points in
direction.
that direction. No.
That's correct.
Bob wasn't here anyway.
Okay.
Bobby, point over here.
Item 6,
This is something that was discussed very heavily by your 2025 committees and is part of your plan. In the budget, we talked about it also, and we actually budgeted $80,000 for this. So we had a single proposal, which was of concern, and James did some follow-up on this. We're comfortable that Cooksey is very experienced in this area and will provide a quality product. And the good thing is they're coming in well under what we budgeted at $50,000.
item 7.
It's an economic development agreement. Mr. Petty, actually, who's supposed to be here, but I understand he's stuck in traffic, talked to you about this several months ago and went over the details. The details here are as he laid them out several months ago. This does have some very significant impacts for the city in the future, revenue impacts. It does have cost impacts up front related to the initial grant. The initial grant basically looks at what the value of the property was at purchase versus the improvements that they've made to date. And there is a rebate of that that takes into account that base. The city maintains the base collected. That goes on for 10 years. And then the grants are sequenced so that we actually try to incentivize them to build these pods as rapidly as possible. Obviously, the quicker these pods get built and get operational, then the city will be able to collect not only the business personal property from those tenants, but the sales tax. And that becomes very significant over time because it's all obviously computer equipment that has to be replaced every 3 years as technology exists today. So that is generating some considerable revenue in the future. So overall, this is a fairly complicated deal, but I think it's one that can be very profitable for the city over the long run. You'll see in the backup we talk about over 25 years, approximately $27 million to the city. Additional sales tax could take that up as high as $60 million. It's considerable economic development agreement for us.
Great.
Item 8. You still entertain the idea of serving? Okay, so I need to know.
Thanks for being willing to serve.
Quick, what else can we get
He's
him
all
to do?
choked up. So exciting.
I wanted to offer anybody else that wanted,
Enough
You're
said.
doing a good job.
Enough said, I'm sure everybody like you do.
but if there is no interest, I'd love to do it again.
Good. Okay, anything else? Council? Anything? Yeah, Judy? Liz? Tom? Okay, we're adjourned. Liz? Thanks.
At least that's what they say.
Well, all of ours are the ones that have kids. Can't move this sucker.
Before we leave tonight, I have a question for you.
I'll break it.
Just
Let's stay over here. I'll knock it over or something.
It is 7 o'clock. We do have a quorum. We'll call the council meeting to order. First item on the agenda is invocation. I'll lead that myself, and then pledge both American and Texas flags led by Deputy Mayor Pro Tem Ferguson. Most gracious God Almighty, our Creator and our Redeemer, we thank you for the lives that you have given us. Remind us to be thankful for what we have. And tonight, remind us to be open to other people's thoughts and visions. Remind us to do things that would be pleasing unto you, unto your creation, which you have blessed us with. We ask a special prayer on those who are sick and suffering this time of year. It's such a difficult time for some people. Give them your peace and your comfort. Ask a special blessing on those who spend their lives day in and day out protecting our freedom, our truth and justice of the world. We ask a special blessing for those who may not know you, that they come to find your love and your peace, your mercy, and your grace. In your name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Please join me in the pledges to the flags. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
Thank you. For the birthday. Well, as the new year rolls around, we have a very special proclamation tonight because we have a birthday, a very special birthday. We have a birthday for the city of Louisville. So I'm going to read this proclamation, then I'm going to ask our city manager, Ms. Barron, to give us about a 20-minute in-depth history of the city of Louisville. An hour, sure, that'll work. Whereas in 1844, the Holford and King families were the first to settle in the area of modern-day Louisville, naming it the Holford Prairie Settlement. And whereas in 1855, Basdale Lewis purchased the Holford land and renamed the nascent settlement Louisville after his own family name. And whereas, in an effort to better protect the community after a series of devastating Main Street fires, Louisville's 815 residents held an election on January 15, 1925, to decide the issue of municipal incorporation. And whereas, by a margin of 109 in favor and 92 opposed, voters approved incorporation as the city of Louisville. And whereas Louisville has grown as a community since that day, in 1925, currently boasting a population of about 35,000 households, accounting for more than 100,000 people. Now, therefore, I, Dean Euchert, Mayor of the City of Louisville, Texas, do hereby proclaim the month of January 2015 as Louisville's 90th birthday. Ms. Barron, would you like to give us a little bit of history? I'm going to let you explain that proudly.
Thank you so much, Mayor. We're very excited to celebrate our 90th birthday, but we're also looking forward to our 100th birthday, and we will celebrate by our completion of our Vision 2025 plan. So there's lots of great things going on in Louisville, and we're moving forward on our big moves for 2025.
Since we're talking about that, do you happen to remember when the time sap capsule comes out? Does anybody remember?
James? 2053. I do remember telling him I would ride my bicycle up here for that celebration, but that may be questionable. Thank you, Mayor. Thank you very much. Thank you so much.
Next item on the agenda is a public hearing, consideration of an ordinance for zone change request for public use to Old Town Mixed Use 2, located on 1.90 acres north of Church Street between Harrod Street and Charles Street. The request is being made by the City of Louisville, the property owner. The 1.90 acre property is located at the northwest corner of Charles Street and Church Street. The City of Louisville is the property owner and is requesting a rezoning of Old Town Mixed Use 2 in order to comply with the recommended zoning for the Old Town Master Plan and facilitate the development of 3 proposed restaurants. The Planning and Zoning Commission recommended approval of the zone change request by 6-0 at their 6-0 vote at their December 2nd, 2014 meeting. Recommendation of staff is that council approve the proposed zoning amendment, the Louisville City Code, Chapter 17, the comprehensive zoning ordinance as set forth in the caption above. Councilman Durham, don't have any cards.
Move to close public hearing.
Second.
Close the public hearing by Councilman Durham, second by Councilman Tierney. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Councilman Durham?
Mayor, move to approve as laid out in the comment section.
Have a motion by Councilman Durham to approve as presented, a second by Councilman Tierney. Any discussion? All in favor?
Mayor,
Oh, I'm sorry, Counselor, I beg your pardon.
this is an ordinance of the City Council of the City of Louisville, Texas, amending the zoning ordinance of the City of Louisville, Texas by rezoning approximately 1.9 acres of land located at the northwest corner of Charles and Church Streets from public use zone district zoning to Old Town Mixed Use 2 district zoning, correcting the official zoning map, preserving all other portions of the zoning ordinance, providing a clause relating to severability, determining that the public interest and general welfare demand this zoning change and amendment therein made, providing a penalty and declaring an emergency.
Thank you, Counselor. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item 2 is a public hearing, consideration of ordinance granting a special use permit request for a kennel with outdoor runs on 0.579 acres zone general business located at Lot 1, Block Q of the Louisville Round Grove Commercial Center as requested by Laura Couch, president of the Velvet Snout. The subject request is for the development of a canine adventure center to serve as an outdoor play and exercise area for dogs at the Velvet Snout, an existing boarding and daycare facility. The zoning ordinance requires that a SUP be obtained for kennels with outdoor runs. The Planning and Zoning Commission recommended approval of the SUP by a vote of 6-0 at their meeting on December 2nd, 2014. I do have a speaker card here by Diana Hall of West Round Grove Road. She is here. She does not wish to speak, but is here to answer any questions on this item. I will mention that I did check with staff to make sure there were not any housing right adjacent to this because of the outdoor kennels with the noise, and there is not any. So, Councilman Tierney?
I have no questions. I'll make a motion to move to close the public hearing.
Second.
Have a motion to close the public hearing by Councilman Tierney, second by Councilman Gilmore. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Okay, Councilman Tierney?
Move to approve.
Second.
Have a motion to approve as presented by Councilman Tierney, a second by Councilman Gilmore. Counselor?
This is an ordinance of the City Council of the City of Louisville, Texas, amending the zoning ordinance of the City of Louisville, Texas by granting a special use permit for a kennel with outside runs located on Lot 1, Block Q of the Louisville Round Grove Commercial Center Addition, containing approximately 0.579 acres, providing for severability, providing a penalty, providing a repealer, providing an effective date, and declaring an emergency.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Item 3 is a public hearing, consideration of an ordinance granting a special use permit for a private utility substation on 6.379 acres, zone general business, located on Lot 1, Block A of the Texas New Mexico Power Company Edition, as requested by G&A Consultants, LLC, on behalf of the property owner. The subject request is for the addition of the new 3,241 square foot building and associated parking to the existing Texas New Mexico Power Electrical Substation site located at 577 Garden Ridge Road. The zoning ordinance requires that an SUP be obtained for private utility substations. Planning and Zoning Commission recommended approval of the SUP by a vote of 6-0 at their meeting of December 2nd, 2014. Recommendation is that council approve the ordinance as set forth in the above caption. Once again, I will say that visiting with staff on this, we are going to be get significant landscape improvements on this site, which will make it a much more attractive site than what it currently is. So I think this is a good issue here. Councilman Gilmore? Oh, wait a minute. I did have a gentleman here, Doug Weaver with G&A Consultants. He does not wish to speak, but has any here to answer any questions if you have any. Other than
Mayor,
that, we'll call.
I'll move to close the public hearing.
Second.
Have a motion by Councilman Gilmore to close public hearing, second by Councilman Ferguson. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Councilman Gilmore?
Move to approve as written.
Motion to approve as presented by Councilman Gilmore, to second by Councilman Vaughn. Any discussion? Counselor?
This is an ordinance of the City Council of the City of Louisville, Texas, amending the zoning ordinance of the City of Louisville, Texas by granting a special use permit for a private utility substation located on Lot 1, Block A of the Texas New Mexico Power Company Edition, containing approximately 6.379 acres, providing for severability, providing a penalty, providing a repealer, providing an effective date, and declaring an emergency.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item 4 is a public hearing, consideration of an ordinance granting a special use permit request for a drive-in theater on 34.529 acres, zone light industrial, located at the southeast corner of Midway Road and Holford's Prairie Road, in consideration of a variance to the Louisville City Code, Section 6-161, general provisions, as requested by the applicant, Coyote Theater LLC. Coyote Theater LLC is requesting a special use permit for the construction of a drive-in movie theater with 5 screens, a 10,000 square foot restaurant, an open-air pavilion, and a children's play area. The owners opened their first location at Panther Island in downtown Fort Worth in May of 2013, and due to the attraction's popularity, are seeking to expand in new markets. One variance to allow the use of crushed recycled concrete for parking embankments in lieu of asphalt or concrete paving is requested. The Planning and Zoning Commission recommended approval of the SUP by a vote of 6-0 at their meeting on December 2nd, 2014. I did have a couple of speaker cards here. One is from Glenn Solomon. Once again, he does not wish to speak, but is here to answer any questions. And then also have one by Steve Homeyer, who's here and is in support of this item. Councilman Vaughn, that's the only cards I have to fill out. If you will make a motion to close.
Mayor, I make a motion to close this item.
Second.
Have a motion by Councilman Vaughn to close the public hearing, a second by Councilman Gilmore. All in favor?
Aye.
Councilman Vaughn, I think you wanted to have something you wanted to say on this item.
I think that the way the developer has chosen to go about using the material that he selected for this goes a long way in support of the city's position on our environment. It addresses a number of items that concrete typically poses a problem for, such as runoff, heat, increased heat levels. And this also gives the water a chance to drain off and potentially get recycled. So I, for one, am in support of this variance. Thank you, Mayor.
Would you like to make that as a motion?
Yes, sir, Mayor. I make a motion that we approve the variance as stated.
Second?
I have a motion by Councilman Vaughn to approve as stated, a second by Councilman Gilmore. Counselor?
Just one clarification, it's a special use permit, not a variance.
I said variance.
Yeah.
Mayor, I stand corrected. I would like to make a motion that we approve this special use permit as presented.
It's approve the ordinance and variance, both.
It's both.
They do have a vote
Oh, there is a
variance.
variance, I apologize, both, you're right.
So your
Okay.
motion is to approve the ordinance and the variance, correct?
I stand corrected, yes. My motion is to approve the variance and the ordinance as stated.
Second.
Have a motion by Councilman Vaughn and a second by Councilman Ferguson. Counselor?
This is an ordinance of the City Council of the City of Louisville, Texas, amending the zoning ordinance of the City of Louisville, Texas by granting a special use permit for a drive-in theater on 34.529 acres located at the southeast corner of Midway Road and Holfers Prairie Road, providing for severability, providing a penalty, providing a repealer, providing an effective date, and declaring an emergency.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item 5 is a public hearing, consideration of an ordinance for a zone change request from duplex to Old Town Mixed Use 2, district zoning on 0.55 acres located at 125 West Walter Street, as requested by Todd Bradbury on behalf of Alexandra Pauline Properties Company, the property owner. 125 West Walter Street is an undeveloped parcel owned since 1998 by Alexandra Pauline Properties. The owner is currently in the process of replatting the property with hopes of developing it in the near future. The designation of Old Town Mixed Use 2 being requested would allow for a greater variety of development options than the current duplex zoning and is consistent with the Old Town Master Plan. Recommendation zoning for the property. The Planning and Zoning Commission recommended approval of the zone change request by vote of 6-0 at their December 2nd, 2014 meeting. I recommendation that council approve the proposed ordinance as set forth in the caption above. I did have one card here by Mr. Todd Bradburn that says you would like to speak. Is that correct, sir? I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you, sir. Is there any questions that you have? Okay, he does not wish to speak here. Just if you have any questions. Councilman Ferguson.
Move to close the public hearing.
Second.
Have a motion by Councilman Ferguson, close public hearing, a second by Councilman Vaughn. All in favor? Opposed? Motion carries. Councilman Ferguson.
Move to approve the ordinance as presented.
Have a motion by Councilman Ferguson to approve
Second.
ordinance. I'm sorry.
Second.
Oh, had a motion by Councilman Ferguson to approve as presented, second by Councilman Durham. Counselor?
This is an ordinance of the City Council of the City of Louisville, Texas, amending the zoning ordinance of the City of Louisville, Texas by rezoning approximately .55 acres of land located at 125 West Walter Street from duplex district zoning to Old Town Mixed Use 2 district zoning, correcting the official zoning map, preserving all other portions of the zoning ordinance, providing a clause relating to severability, determining that the public interest and general welfare demand this zoning change and amendment therein made, providing a penalty, and declaring an emergency.
All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Next item is visitor citizen forum. At this time, any person with business before the council not scheduled on the agenda may speak to the council. No formal action can be taken on these items at this meeting. I did not have any speaker cards filled out, nor asked anyone to speak. Next item is consent agenda. All the following items on the consent agenda are considered to be self-explanatory by the city council and will be enacted with one motion. There will be no separate discussion of these items unless a council member or citizen so requests. For a citizen to request removal of an item, a speaker card must be filled out, submitted to the city secretary. I did not have anyone ask to have any items pulled. Councilman Vaughn?
Mayor, I make a motion that we approve the consent agenda as stated.
Motion to Councilman Vaughn approve consent agenda, a second by Councilman Ferguson. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Next item is item number 8, consideration of a nomination to the North Central Texas Council of Governments Regional Emergency Preparedness Planning Council. Councilman Leroy Vaughn was nominated by City Council November 5, 2012, and appointed as a member to the North Central Texas Council of Governments Regional Emergency Preparedness Planning Council. The council is composed of elected officials from participating cities and counties. Cities are grouped into population brackets in accordance with current population estimates. Councilman Vaughn does desire to serve another term to the council, and his current term will expire on January 22nd, 2015. The nomination form needs to be returned to the COG Executive Board no later than January 7th, 2015. Recommendation that the council consider the nomination to the board as set forth in the caption above. Councilman Ferguson.
Yes, I move that we continue Councilman Vaughn as our representative to the board.
Second.
I have a motion by Councilman Ferguson to reappoint Councilman Vaughn to the board, a second by Councilman Gilmore. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Okay, that takes us down to reports. What? 6 and 7 are the agenda, are the,
Consent.
6 and 7 are the.
Consent agenda.
Okay. We got it. We're good. That's okay. I looked at it that way too earlier. Okay, we're down to reports. Nika, I'm sorry. Bob. Chief. I understand you're going to honor some of your fellow members in your department this Saturday. Isn't that right?
Yes, sir. Our annual awards banquet will be this Saturday night at 5:30 at the MCL Grand. I believe all of you have received an invitation, and we'd love to have you out there for that event. Shouldn't be too long, couple hours, and we can get you back out and you can do what you want for the rest of the evening, but we'd like to have you there if you can make it. Look forward to the event.
Y'all do a great job. We appreciate that, and I know they do too. Thank you. Chief?
Nothing, Mayor.
Nothing? Carol, is everything going good? Boy, we're starting off the new year with some rain. Thank the Lord. Very good. I bet that lake came up a foot or two, didn't it? Gina? Brenda? Mr. Ferris, sir.
Yes, Mayor and Council, Cleve has some exciting news for us.
All right.
All right. Need a little excitement.
It's not my retirement. It's a great pleasure to introduce our new Neighborhood Services Coordinator, Yolanda Wilson. I'm going to brag a little bit about her. We decided to take a different approach, and we requested that all the candidates, which we had 48 initial candidates, we whittled it down to 9. We asked all 9 of them to do a PowerPoint presentation and a 3-year report kicking off 2025 plan and how that would parallel that over the next 3 years. That presentation was given in these council chambers to other staff members, and I will tell you that Yolanda just blew us all away, and her report is amazing. We were all ready to throw on gloves, grab shovels, and go out in the neighborhoods. She was that inspirational. She's been here just a week, and it's just it's kind of scaring me because she's really getting after it. So this is your new neighborhood service coordinator. What better way to do it here? And she's on TV. We got a face with a name, and she's going to be very, very visual out there.
Well, great. It's wonderful to have you with us. We look forward to a wonderful long relationship with you over the years. And if you want them to come to work with gloves and boots and hats on, ready to get to work, I don't have a problem with it.
Okay. I'm glad to be here.
We're glad to have you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Backus, sir. Councilman Durham.
Nothing, Mayor.
Councilman Tierney.
No, sir.
Councilman Gilmore.
Mayor, we still have live Christmas tree recycling through January 16th. If you are interested in that, it's sponsored by Keep Louisville Beautiful and our Parks and Leisure Services. You can call either of those organizations. You can find it on the City of Louisville website down in the news section.
Great.
That's all.
Anna?
No, sir.
Councilman Perkins, we got a lot of stuff going on across the street over. Could you give us an update on that, please, sir?
Oh, if you beg me.
I'll beg you.
All right.
You do a good job at it.
All right, thank you, Mayor. We've got live performances coming up. Jeff Caldwell, part of their grand stand-up comedy series. That'll be this Friday, January 9th, presented by the MCL Grand. Ruthie Foster will kick off the Texas Tune Series, which is also a City of Louisville MCL Grand Series. And Ruthie is outstanding. encourage you to come. That'll be January 17th. Texas Tunes is always third Saturday of the month, so it's easy to remember. We have Beauty and the Beast Junior, January 23rd and 24th, 3 shows. That's presented by the Acting Studio. Public events, we have the Miss North Texas pageant on January the 11th, presented by Miss North Texas Scholarship Pageant. We have Moving Canvas Dance Performance on January 17th, presented by Moving Canvas Dance Space. Healthy You, presented by the Medical Center of Louisville, continues on January 27th, and the topic is food allergies. And of course, Friday nights, always in the Arts Center, we have the Visual Arts League acoustic jam sessions. Art exhibits, got a special exhibit that's going to run very brief period of time through January 17th, entitled Foodie, and it is art related to food, and that's presented by the Visual Arts League, and another one presented by Visual Arts League in the North Quarter Gallery is entitled Abstract. And that's all I have, sir. Thank you.
Great job. Thank you, sir. Councilman Vaughn?
Nothing, Mayor.
Counselor? Julie? Officer, once again, we appreciate you being here tonight, sir, and if you will, pass that on to your teammates and tell them we appreciate what y'all do each and every day, sir. Thank you. Just want to wish everybody a happy new year, and remember that school is back in session now. I've had a couple weeks off there where you didn't have to pay attention to the school zones, but they're back into play, so be sure you stay safe around the school zones.
New school zone too.
I'm sorry?
New school zone too.
Yes, new school zone too, out on 3040.
3040.
Yes, be very careful out there. That's a dangerous area. In accordance with Texas Government Code Subchapter D, Section 551.071, legal issues related to the construction of the Old Town Park Plaza, consultation with attorney. Section 551.071, consultation with attorney pending litigation. Aurelio Darte et al. Versus City of Louisville, Texas, case number 13-40806, United States Court of Appeals for the Fifth Circuit. And Section 551.072, real estate property acquisition, and Section 551.087, deliberation regarding economic development negotiations, will now convene into closed session. Thank you. Session, council, is there any action to be taken?
Move to adjourn.
Second.
Motion adjourned by Councilman Ferguson, a second by Councilman Gilmore. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.